guys, so for those of you that come to my class on a regular basis, I want to say thank you so much for joining, well, to everyone for that, but those that come to my class, I miss you all so much, and I hope that things are going really well in your lives. I hope that you've found peace where you're at, that you're just having a lot of faith and trust in this process, that I believe that everything is going to work out well for everyone. And I just want to say welcome to my peaceful space that I create for myself. I spend a lot of time in my bedroom when my son is not with me, even when he is sometimes, because it is my own personal oasis where I can find peace. I can read in stillness. I can watch a movie on my computer. I don't even have a TV in here because I like to really not have a whole lot of distractions. It's my get it together place. So I want to invite you to create a get it together place, because it is so important, especially during this time, to have somewhere we can go that is peaceful, that brings us joy. I also want to invite you to make that your bedroom, if it's possible, to create that space, really thinking about how you could arrange your room and organize it to where you feel a lot of calmness, especially during these times. We wake up in the morning, and this is the first place we see. We go to sleep at night, and this is the last thing we see and feel. So it doesn't matter aesthetically how it looks. What matters is the feeling you get when you lay in your room and you go to sleep at night, which is another reason why I don't like TV or a lot of media at night, because it really makes a difference in how my body rests through the night or how I wake up. If I want media, I can go on my phone or I can go on my laptop, but it takes more of an effort to do so. So not necessarily challenge, but maybe create an intention of creating a space for you. Anyways, thank you for joining. We're gonna do a nice yoga flow. We're gonna stick to normal class basics. Feel free to modify anytime you need to. I will try to modify as we go, but I want to teach this class really for my class that I miss so much. Okay, let's go ahead and have a seat at the top of our mats. Rock left to right on our sits bones. Sitting up nice and tall, palms facing down or up. We're gonna inhale through our noses, expand our bellies, draw our shoulders up. Exhale, then rolling them back. This time, inhaling the hands up. Exhale, hands to heart. Let's do that again. Inhale up. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale up. Exhale, left hand comes down, right hand reaches across, so we're bending into the sides of our bodies, bending the elbow at our waist, gazing straight ahead. We reach across the room like we have a question, way over on the other side. Good. Breathing. Softening our gazes. Inhale up. Exhale, we lean to the other side. Reaching. Inhale up. Exhale, hands to heart. Good. We're going to place our hands on our knees, palms face down. Inhale. Exhale. Let's go ahead and draw the shoulders back. And then come around for cat. So we're going to go into a seated cat-cow flow. So inhale. Shoulders back. Exhale, rounding our upper backs, drawing the navel in, chin to chest. Let's do a few more of those. Let's do one more. Nice and tall. Let's come to all fours on our mats. So what we're gonna do is make sure we have stacked shoulders or over wrists, hips over knees. Before we increase this, we're gonna go ahead and just reach out the left hand, extend out long. Good. Right hand, extend out long. Left leg, extend out long, pressing the ball of the foot, keeping the hips nice and square. knee to the mat. Opposite side, right foot reaches, pressing the ball of the foot, reaching, pressing, square hips, coming down. So now left hand extends, right leg extends, pressing, holding, 3, 2, 1. Then we're gonna draw in for 3, press, 2, press and reach, 1, press and reach, press down. So right hand, left foot, reach and press, 3, 2, 1. Draw in for 3, press and reach, 2, press and reach, 1, press and reach, down to the mat. We're gonna bring the knees wide on the mat, sit back towards our heels, extend our hands out for extended child's pose. Breathing. Creating our intention for our practice. And let's make it about being present in the moment. Accepting things where we are. So let's really practice that, as it's something we need to practice in our lives right now anyways, with everything going on. Just being okay with everything. Just trusting the process. Exhaling, coming up, back to tabletop. Tucking the toes, reaching the hips towards the sky. Before we go into down dog, let's go ahead and bend the knees. Reach the hips up, gazing between our legs. We should be able to release our necks. Checking in, making sure we're pressing back, spreading the fingertips wide, pressing them into the mat, and making sure we don't roll out, that our inner creases of our elbows are facing each other. Pressing the heels back. We can keep the knees bent if we're really tight in our hamstrings, or we can extend out. We can also heel toe out if we're really tight in our hips. But otherwise, keeping our hips width apart with our feet. Good. Let's go ahead and walk it out. Good. Our left leg comes to the sky. Let's go ahead and draw the knee to the outside. We're gonna come into lizard pose. So from here, we can stay here, or we can also drop that knee down if that's a little too intense for us, okay? So pressing that heel back. From here, we can either come to our forearms or we can stay here. So options up to you. Depends on our own capabilities, not pushing too hard, accepting where we are. Making sure, and this one, that our foot doesn't roll open, that we keep our foot nice and flat, but we can press down with our chest. Good. Hands to our mats. Let's go ahead and shift the weight back to down dog. Good. Right leg comes up for three-legged dog. Let's go ahead and step to the right side of that mat, right outside, okay? Staying up or down, remember, whatever we need. And then if we choose, we can come down to those forearms. Breathing. Shifting the weight back to our hands. Shifting back to down dog. Let's go ahead and hold for a few breaths. Like giving ourselves permission to relax out of any pose anytime we need. Releasing our necks, gazing back, pressing those heels. I'm gonna gaze towards our hands, shifting it to the outside of our mats, moving into yoga warrior squat. So with this one, we may be with the heels raised, and that's okay. Let's try to get those chests facing the wall in front of us. Hands to heart. We can also press out with our elbows. Good. Placing our hands on the mat, we're gonna press up, rolling up one vertebrae at a time. Inhaling the hands up. Exhale, hands to heart. So we're gonna stay nice and wide. I'm kind of cut off in this video, but you'll get the gist of what I mean. So feet pointed out. Actually, let me see if I scoot back. Oh, that doesn't help very much. So let me see. I'll just leave it for this one. I'll work on that. Inhale up. We're gonna stay like this. Exhale back. Moonflowers. Inhale up. Exhale, sit back. Inhale up. Exhale, sit back into that little stool behind us. Inhale up. Arms come long this time. Exhale. Inhale, arms up. Exhale around. Inhale up. Exhale all the way down this time. Adjusting the feet if needed. Yoga warrior squat. Very good. So I didn't realize this video was cutting off my head. So we're just having to, you're gonna have to bear with me. Good. Placing our hands on the mat. We're gonna go ahead and roll up one vertebrae at a time. Inhale up. Exhale, hands to heart. Good. So I'm gonna come to the top of my mat. And we're gonna go ahead and go into our salute. So making sure we have hips width apart, palms facing out. Everything is engaged. Let's go ahead and go forward. Inhale up. Exhale, hinging from our hips, we forward fold. So for a forward fold, we can also bend our knees. We don't have to keep them straight because some of us do not have the flexibility. Then we start to roll our backs. So staying nice and flat, forward fold. Inhale halfway with a flat back. Exhale all the way. Inhale, left leg steps back. Down dog. Shifting to plank. I'll do modification this first round. Lowering down, chaturanga. Up dog or cobra. Down dog. Left leg, three-legged dog. Trying to keep those hips square. It's really easy to open up. It's staying nice and square if we can. Knee comes through. The other foot follows. Reverse. Hands to heart. Inhale up. Exhale, hinge. Inhale halfway. Exhale all the way. Inhale, right foot back. Down dog. Plank or kneeling plank. Slightly forward, elbows tucked in, lower down. Up dog or cobra. Down dog. Right leg, three-legged dog. Knee through, stepping through, reverse. Hands to heart. Good. Okay, round two. Inhale up. Exhale, hinge. Inhale, halfway. Exhale. Hopper step. Down dog. Plank, lower down. Up dog or cobra. Down dog. Left leg, three-legged dog. So we can actually skip this part if it's too difficult for us. We can also try most of it. So knee through the middle, and then we're gonna cross. Then knee through the middle, back up. Two more, middle, cross, middle, back up. One more, cross, middle, back up. Heel to bottom, open up, and then we can choose to go into a wild thing. Flipping back around, left leg up, knee comes through, other foot follows, reverse. Hands to heart. Good. Inhale up. Exhale, hinge. Inhale, halfway. Exhale. Hopper step. Down dog. Plank. Slightly forward, chaturanga. Up dog or cobra. Down dog. Right leg up. Knee through the center and then cross. center, back up, center, cross, center, back up. Last one, cross, center, back up. Remember, we can do the heel to bottom, opening up, and if we choose, we can move into that wild thing. Lifting the hips high, flipping back over, right leg comes up, leg steps through, opposite foot follows, reverse. Exhale. One more round. I don't know how I got all the way back there. So one more round. Strong mountain pose. Inhale up. Exhale, hinge. Inhale, halfway. Exhale. Halfway. Exhale. Let's do one more. Exhale. Hop for a step. Down dog. Okay. So from here to plank, lower down, up dog, back, back up, back to down dog, back to plank, back to chaturanga, up dog, down dog, left leg up, just the knee through, then back up. Knee through, back up, last one, back up. Knee steps through, foot steps through, reverse. Hands to heart. Let's do that again. Inhale up. Exhale, hinge. Inhale, halfway. Exhale. Again. Exhale. Last one. Exhale. Hopper step. Down dog. Plank. Lower down. Up dog. Back to plank. Down dog. Plank. Chaturanga. Up dog. Down dog. Right leg up. Knee through the center. And then back up. Center. Back up. Center. Back up. Knee steps through. Both other foot follows. Reverse. Exhale, hands to heart. Balance and warriors combined. So I highly suggest that if you don't have one, that you purchase a block or use something similar. And I'll try to think of some things you could use. I know funds are tight for a lot of us, instead of a block. This, however, I purchased on Amazon, and I believe it was like either under $10 or $10. It's a good width, and it's solid cork. I just almost killed myself with it. Anyways, so I think it's cork. I'm pretty sure it is. It's called Peace Yoga. I've never even heard of this brand, but they remind me of, I think it's the Manduka ones. No, not Manduka. I don't know, I can't remember. But anyways, I will post a whole thing on these or on my yoga props in a different video. So having one of these available for balance is always wonderful. We can use it to balance on, but if we balance on this, I'm gonna scoot back so you can see. So for instance, if I'm going into half moon, I'm not gonna sink my weight into it. I'm gonna lift out, and it's literally to help me balance. The other thing is that a wall is also very beneficial. So if I'm gonna go into half moon, I can literally lean against this wall to feel where I am, flexing the foot, and still get that same result with half moon with better posture. So never think that using a wall or a prop is going to make you look weak, because it's not. Actually, it's going to help you grow and have better alignment than you would in trying to do it incorrectly. So with that, a block and or a wall if you need. We're going to bring the left knee up. So the front toes point to the front. I don't know if you can see from here. Left toes, excuse me. Right toes to the front. Left knee comes up. This foot comes back. And we go into warrior two. So making sure the front heel is lined up with the back arch. We're not rolling in. A lot of times we're gonna roll in, so we're not doing that. Front knee is stacked over the ankle, arms are strong, and gaze is over our fingertips. Good. Breathing. Hinging forward, reverse warrior. And then we're gonna come back to warrior two. We can step halfway if we want, or we can just go directly into it. We're gonna go into half moon. So with this, we may wanna have the block ready. If not, that's okay. We can go directly into it and our hand can touch the floor or the block. I'm gonna use a block just so you can see how that works. And the chest opens to the wall in front of us. Pressing that ball of the foot, tapping down, see, if needed, maybe a few times. Breathing. Then bending the knee, coming back to warrior two. Good, adjusting if needed. Shifting forward, reverse, a quick little transition, going back to warrior two, hinging forward, coming into extended angle. So we can actually use that block here too, to rest our hand, but again, we don't want to sink in or we're reaching out. We can also use our arm if we want. So this hand can also reach at an angle any way we want. We can also do more, so our hand would normally come down here, or we can be on the palm of our hand and reach. We can also add a binding, whatever we want. Good. We're gonna come back up, warrior two. This time we're gonna shift the hips to the front, and then we're gonna come forward to warrior three, pressing the ball of the foot. We can also use our block. So from here, I'm really tight, so it's gonna look pretty awkward. We're gonna go into standing split. So we shift our hands down to the ground, and that back leg lifts even more. We can actually open up those hips for standing split. We can try to take one or both hands off our mats and really just stretch deep into this. Top leg comes down, roll up one vertebrae at a time. Inhale up. Exhale, hands to heart. Very good. So we're gonna go ahead and take the right foot and press on the top of that foot, and then do little circles in each direction. Shake it out a little bit, because that leg always feels like it's on fire. Makes us feel alive, right? So other side, right leg comes back, knee comes up, heel to arch. Lining up, warrior two. Breathing. Imagining a string, pulling our heads to the sky, separating each vertebrae. Our gazes are soft over our fingertips. We reach forward, reverse. Back to warrior two. Then we're gonna go ahead, remember we're gonna shift. So you can step halfway, or we can go directly in to that half moon. The toes stay pointed to the top of our mats. Again, we can tap down if needed. Bending the front knee, coming back to that warrior two. And we can get into it however we want. It doesn't have to be fancy. Hinging forward, reverse. Back to warrior two. Hinging forward, extended angle. Remember, any variation you'd like, but make sure we're not squeezing into that side, we're lifting. Angle, and then we're gonna come up, squaring up, warrior three. Then hands slowly come down. That top leg reaches up for standing split. And again, this will look different on everyone. Lowering that leg down, rolling up one vertebrae at a time. Inhaling up. Exhale, hands to heart. Very good. Great job for all our standing poses. We're gonna head down, have a seat on our mats. I'm gonna bring this closer. Okay. We're gonna go ahead and recenter and butterfly. So pressing our feet together, knees pressed down, sitting up nice and tall. Let's just take our heart rate down a level. Taking some big inhales and exhales. Exhale through our mouth. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Let's go ahead and we're gonna take and bring the right leg to the front. So those of you that have been to my class a billion times know that I am a huge stickler on this. So you'll know what I'm talking about in a minute when you see it. First, I wanna kind of break down, we're gonna go into pigeon pose. But before we do, you will know that I would absolutely rather have your leg lined up with the top of the mat than have your leg come in. And the reason why is because you're not gonna get that full potential stretch that will bring you into a deeper pigeon. You can do this, however, this is recommended. I'm not gonna tell you what to do, but this is where I'd like to see you. If we're really tight in our hips and we can't even go into pigeon, 90-90, so it's 90-degree bend in the front, 90-degree bend in the back is where I want us, okay? So if you're like, there's no way that my leg will do that, this is where we're going. So the thighs underneath, the top of the foot's back. We're gonna make sure that back foot is nice and straight. If we can't do this with the leg straight, then we need to go into 90-90. And then we can come down with our hands on the ground or mats and find our spot here. So we're leading with the chest the entire time. And we're gonna slowly take breaths, long breaths. So I want us to slowly inhale and exhale as long as we can. So sometimes what happens when we're in intense stretches is that we hold our breath. We're not gonna do that. So let's go ahead and inhale and then exhale slow. So we're gonna try to practice that our entire practice for the rest of pigeon or any of our deep stretches. So let's go ahead on the next exhale, maybe we can find our forearms. This handy dandy block, because we can place this under our foreheads, or if we have two, we can place them under our forearms. So if you notice, if you look at my hips are straight. A lot of times, again, we wanna roll to the side. If we find ourselves rolling, we need to come up, okay? So let's go ahead and come to our forearms if that's in our practice. If not, we're staying up high. And if it's in our practice, we can come all the way down. Remember to not roll to one side. Stay nice and straight. That chest is pressing towards the ground or our mats. We can also stack our fists and place our foreheads on our fists or fist. Breathing. Fast inhale, long exhale. Continuing. And then coming back to our hands, coming back into that supported pigeon, tucking the back toes. We're gonna bring this front leg back into down dog. So let's go ahead and walk it out. Oh yeah, feels good. We're gonna bring the opposite leg forward, parallel to the top of the mat. Remember, we don't wanna bring that leg in. The knee comes down. We adjust there if needed. And then we're pressing through the hips. But what's most important, so we don't get too much flexion in those hips and injure ourselves, is that we're also leading with our chest. So it's almost like this supported push-up action. We're keeping our arms in, not out here, in, to see where our range of motion is. So let's go ahead and walk those hands out. Remember the breath. Remember not to rock one way or the other. We're leading with the chest, pressing with the chest, flat backs. If we find ourselves curving if we're curving our backs, we also need to come up. So nice flat backs. And then exhaling, coming back up, tucking that back toe, coming back to down dog, adjusting back on the mat if needed. Let's go ahead and walk it out. And then hold for a few breaths. Let's go ahead and shift left to right, just a little deeper. Good, let's come to our knees and sit back. So this next section that we're gonna do, I want to use a strap. And so if you don't have a strap here, hold on. So there are two things that we can use. The first thing is, if you already have a yoga strap, honestly, these are under $10 on Amazon, but again, I know that a lot of us are trying not to spend money right now, so if that's the case, then a strap is not necessary. One of the things that I love to do, my mom loves to yard sell, so I have her pick me up these ties. And they're not cute or anything, but they work for yoga straps, okay? So I have a few of these on hand always, so whenever I'm practicing yoga with my girlfriends or do yoga wine nights, then I always have extra straps. So I have a strap, so I'm not gonna be needing that. I'm gonna turn to the side of my mat so you can see what we're doing. So when I do this, here I'll explain it as we go actually. So let's go ahead and lay back on our mats. And you can press pause and watch and redo. It's the benefit of having a video versus being in person, right? So I'm gonna extend the right leg long, okay? And then the left ball, the ball of the foot, is where we're gonna place the strap. So it's the ball of the foot, not the arch. So making sure we're pressing with the ball of the foot on both feet, and the strap is on the ball of the foot, okay? So from here, what we do is we draw this leg as close as we can. So left leg, we're trying to reach to the left shoulder. And once we feel just a little stretch, we're not white knuckled on our strap, we're just enough to feel that stretch. We can draw our hands down. Once our hands are drawn down, and we feel that stretch, we just kind of go with it. We inhale and exhale. We should feel our shoulders on the mat. If we're reached up, it means we need to draw those hands down a little bit more. Just enough to feel that stretch. And on the exhale, we're gonna cross the midline of the body and we're gonna match these toes at a diagonal line to the right shoulder. So drawing over, toes to shoulder, we draw in. And if you do this just right, you feel that stretch just kind of shift to the outside. So it seems kind of interesting how we're doing 3 different stretches. They don't have a big range of motion, but they're enough to feel the navigation of that stretch of a different muscle. So it just moved here to the outer hip. But we still feel it in the back of the legs, so the hamstrings and the calves. So we're still pressing. We can ground ourselves with this hand here. We're gazing directly up towards the ceiling. And then we're gonna draw, so if you were to put a piece of paper between my shoulder and my big toe, that is where I'm gonna have my toes. So it's not lined up like we were before, or right outside of that shoulder. So a lot of times when I teach, a lot of people want to open up, but that's not what we're doing here. We're doing more of a flexibility than a mobility stretch. So the other hand is grounding us on the other side. And we feel ourselves shaking. That means we're pulling too hard. We just need to be lightly gripped. Pressing. Sometimes we just shake anyways. Like I'm not even pressing, I'm shaking a little bit right now, and I shouldn't be because I have a lot more flexibility than that. But I'm still choosing to release a little bit because I just want to be kind to my body. And then releasing that strap. We'll draw both knees in, give ourselves a nice little rock left to right. This time the left leg reaches out long, pressing the ball of the foot. You put that strap around the ball of the foot on the other opposite side. Same thing, right toes to right shoulder this time, drawing the toes near, drawing the hands down, shoulders are on our mats, pressing the balls of the feet. Breathing. Good, so then we're gonna cross the midline of the body, and the right toes to the left shoulder, we're pointing towards that. And usually we're about the same depth in, I guess you would say. So we're moving towards our body, so it's that same distance generally, but sometimes not, it depends on our bodies. Pressing the balls of the feet, sometimes you let this one relax on the bottom, so making sure we continue that press. Moving the strap to the opposite hand. Remember that piece of paper that we're going to slide between the big toe and the shoulder, drawing down, hand to mat, just for a little bit of grounding support so we don't roll open. Sometimes if we don't have that, it feels kind of weird. So feeling that grounding. Breathing. And then releasing, drawing the knees in, rocking left to right. We're gonna stack because I want us to work on mobility. If you want to do something different and you've been in my class, go for it, but mobility is like my goal right now. So we're gonna keep the knees stacked, and I'm gonna show you something. So with that block or a pillow, this is what we're gonna do. So what happens is, when we rotate our knees over to the side, we should be able to keep our shoulders on the mat. That's not the case with some of us. Sometimes we don't have that hip mobility. So if our knees are up here and it causes our shoulder to come up because we're coming down, then, because the goal is shoulders down, let me back up a little bit, knees down, knees stacked, okay? So we should have a twist, but nothing should be lifted, okay? So if we feel a lift, then placing a block or a pillow under our knees gets us on the ground, okay? So try it either way. And then we're gonna gaze away from our knees. And then drawing the knees forward. I like to give a nice little hug in between, a little rock and hug. The knees come in the opposite direction, same thing. We extend out to a T. And we gaze over the fingertips in the opposite direction. And then drawing in, rocking left to right. Good. Reaching far in our arches. We're gonna press our knees down at our sides and then hold here. Sometimes it looks like this on some of us, that's okay. And then rock left to right for happy baby. So we should feel from the tailbone all the way up our back pressed on the ground. So we're giving ourselves a little massage on our spine, on our upper glutes, our lower back, our full backs really. Good. So we're gonna move to the wall and I'm gonna show you something. So you can move your mat if you want. I just swept them off my floor, so I'm not worried. So the first, and I know people see this all, I know people see this all the time, and they wonder, how do they get so close to the wall without having to scoot a million times? So you get your hip as close as you can to the wall. And then you want to lean back, and you swing your legs up, and you should be there. So from here, we're just gonna take a few breaths here. This pose is like an anti-anxiety, anti-stress. I mean, you name it. This is like the most decomposing stretch. Not decomposing, is that right? Anyways, I'm dyslexic. You'll have to learn how to deal with me if you're gonna watch my videos. So you just learn how to just decompress, not decompose, decompress. See, I knew I had it. So here, we have the legs relax. So all this blood just gushes out, and just like, for some reason, I don't know why, I've read this a million times over and over. I've researched this pose because it's just something that I love, that always makes me feel like completely balanced. It takes away any anxiety I might have, any stress. It's wonderful. So I don't know if I have enough room here, and you might be able to do more at home. I'm really working on my workspace. I'm gonna scoop a little bit, because what we're gonna do, I have pretty good range of motion, so I don't wanna mess up. So we open up slowly and let the legs open. I'm really tight right now, so I don't have the flexibility I normally do, but we're gonna go into right legs. We can rub the inside of our legs. That helps with our adrenals. So we have adrenal glands in the inside of our thighs, and it's a really good way to kind of release more tension or stress and just get the body, the circulation just going. And then just breathe into it. So remember that long exhale, so just breathing, and a long exhale. Again, inhale, and then exhale. Let's do that again, inhale, exhale. Good. So let's draw those legs back up, rock to the side, press ourselves up. So this is the place where I like to end and just say, I hope you have a great Shavasana. I really hope you take the time. I suggest that you set your timer for 10 minutes, okay? You may or may not last this long, but give yourself the benefit of the doubt. This feet extend long, finding a blanket if your room isn't warm enough, laying back, palms facing the sky, feet just naturally fall open. And then we just start thinking of anything that we are still carrying and leaving it on either side of us. And then when we're done with this, we can decide whether we want to keep it or not. So what I mean by that is all this busyness, all these layers of our life consume us, and they try to rush back in during stillness. So just taking a big inhale, exhale, setting things aside. And as we inhale, let's think of the word inhale. So if we were to even see it written out in cursive, we'll see inhale. And if we then exhale, we're going to see the word exhale. And we can see it written out in cursive or print, however we want. So when we think of these things, we think of the word inhale, expanding our bellies, we'll breathe. Exhale. And now letting go of the controlled breath, and just visualizing it at our own normal breath. And eventually we find ourselves in stillness. And every time we feel an internal or an internal distraction, we just come right back to this place of visualizing the words inhale and exhale, or silently saying to yourself, inhale as we inhale, and exhale as we exhale. So I'm going to leave it right there for you to continue your last pose, your resting pose. Remember, after your practice today, whenever you do this, could be in the morning or the evening, that we start new every time we practice yoga. So we practice yoga to shed all of our layers of our day. It's the practice we create to actually feel ourselves, feel the layers, feel the layers underneath all of those, all of the busyness, everything the day piles on us, everything life piles on us. We practice yoga to get rid of those things, so we can finally just kind of center again and feel ourselves. So know that we have a fresh start in every moment, not just with yoga during our practice, but yoga as a way of life. Yoga as a way of, I'm gonna practice being present in the moment. I'm gonna practice just shedding that layer because it's not a part of me. So when you're done with your practice today, those things that we put on the sides of us, I want you to think, do I really need to put those back inside? Is it something that I can just leave there, or is it something that I can walk away from and never come back to? Those things that I'm putting there, that to-do list, whatever I think I need to do during this time, during quarantine, do I really need to do those things right now? Can I just not think about them until they're absolutely necessary? And I give you permission right now. Yes, you can leave them, unless it's something that is absolutely demanding of you in this moment. You can leave all of it. And I'm gonna be real because I care about you guys. You can leave everything that you don't need here. You can leave it right here and right here, and watch them sink into that pit of infinity, because they do not define you. So have a great time doing this video. Have a great day. I don't know again when you're going to be doing this video, but I wish you the very best, and I'll see you soon.